Chioma wasn't looking for a miracle. She just wanted to leave home. Her mother was a pepper seller at Bodija Market. Her father was a bricklayer who hadn't worked in months. With 5 younger siblings and only one mat to share, Chioma knew her dreams of university were just that, dreams. But after JAM failed her for the third time and her mother fell sick again, she was tired of fighting. That was when Leviathan College came. One morning, posters appeared all over Ibadan. She was buying paracetamol at the chemist shop when her eyes caught it. A bright red poster nailed to the wall beside the gate. Leviathan College. A school like no other. Full scholarship. No entrance exam. 100% employment after graduation. Only serious students allowed. Chioma stared at the flyer outside the chemist's shop. No exam? She whispered. No fees? Nah lie, her friend Lara said. All these fake people, they'll use your destiny. But Chioma had nothing left to lose. She applied for the school. 3 days later, she got an email. Congratulations, Chioma Emmanuel. You've been accepted into Leviathan College. Your journey begins on Monday. Pack lightly. Bring nothing valuable. We will take care of the rest. She stared at the screen, her heart thumping. She was so very happy. The following week, she packed her nylon bag, kissed her mother goodbye, and whispered, I'll come back with something better. She joined other chosen students at the bus park. There were about 40 of them, some in hijabs, some in wigs, all young, wide-eyed and clutching nylon bags. The school bus was white and had the school name, Leviathan College, on the plate number. The driver didn't speak much. He just smiled, showing 2 rows of perfect shiny teeth. The journey took hours, and when they finally arrived, Chioma gasped. The school was sitting in the middle of a forest. Tall silver buildings, crystal fountains, green glass roofs. It didn't look like Nigeria. It looked too beautiful to be real. Welcome to Leviathan College, said a woman in a navy blue suit. She wore a name tag that said Matron Fisayo. Her voice was deep, calm, and cold. You are now Leviathans, she said. Chosen, blessed, favored. Everyone clapped. That night, Chioma and the rest of the students entered their dormitories. They were given food, clothes, and even brand new phones. Everything free. Everything felt like a dream come true. Chioma was paired with a quiet girl named Adaora, who barely spoke but smiled shyly. But beside their beds was a small booklet with golden letters, a school rule book. Read carefully. You may only read this once. Curious, Chioma opened it. The first few pages were normal. Respect all staff. Maintain good hygiene. No stealing. But the next page chilled her. Mirrors, glass, or reflective items aren't allowed in the school. And above all, do not fall in love. Chioma laughed nervously and dropped the book. Is this a joke? She asked. She looked at Adaora, who was staring at her own booklet with a blank face. Then something strange happened. The rest of the pages blurred before her eyes. She tried to flip back, but the words had vanished. The letters melted into empty gold dust. The book now appeared blank, except for the school's logo floating at the center. She shut the booklet and tossed it aside. That's enough reading for today. But that night, as the light went out and the room dimmed, Chioma heard something, a soft sound, a dragging sound, like footsteps, but slower, heavier, coming from the hallway. She sat up in bed. Edaura was already awake, her eyes wide open. Did you hear that? Chioma whispered. Adaura didn't blink. Yes. Chioma reached for her phone. It was dead. Though fully charged before, she tried to open the door outside when Adaura told her, You forgot the rule no one is allowed outside at night. Chioma rushed back to her bed, clutching her bedsheet. The next morning came like a thief in daylight. When Chioma woke up, she discovered that the rest of the students were gathered outside, murmuring. She went outside and asked what was going on. She was told that one student had left the school. When they asked why he left, Matron Fisayo said, he just left for no reason. But deep down, Chioma didn't believe that. She whispered to Adaora, how can he leave the school just like that? Something is not right, Adaora. But Adaora only said, Chioma, you're overthinking things. Maybe the boy didn't want a good life. Chioma didn't say any more words. She simply went inside, got dressed, and joined the other students at the cafeteria. It was shaped like a giant glass bubble. The floor was marble. The seats were round like eggs. And the food, pancakes, sausages, yam porridge, smoothies like a hotel buffet. Chioma looked around. The students were smiling now. Some had even curled their hair or done makeup. It was like everyone forgot what happened the night before. She sat beside a girl who looked familiar, slim, dark-skinned, with braids and fine lashes. Hi, Chioma greeted. I'm Chioma. The girl smiled. I'm Zara. They shook hands. She wanted to tell Zara how she felt that something about the school didn't feel right, but she couldn't because she didn't know who to trust. After they finished eating breakfast, the students were taken inside a class that looked more like an office. The teacher didn't teach much. He just said a few things, gave them some guidelines, and just like that, the class was dismissed. Everyone returned to their rooms. Chioma returned to her room, but when she got in, she saw something that made her stop. Her roommate Adaora wasn't there. Her clothes were folded neatly on her bed, and on the bed was another name tag. Ojo Nugwa. Chioma stepped back. Who are you? She asked. The girl smiled calmly. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Ojo Nugwa. I'm now your roommate. Chioma couldn't respond. She rushed outside and went straight to Matron Fisayo's office. She knocked hard. Matron, I can't find my roommate, Edaora, but inside I met a new girl who said she's now my roommate. Please, I don't understand what's going on. Where is Edaora? Matron Fisayo looked her straight in the eye and whispered, Adaora has been transferred to another facility. Chioma blinked. But why was she transferred? The woman opened her mouth and said, ask no more questions. Now go back to your room. Chioma rushed back, looking worried. Ojonugwa was on her bed, still smiling. Hey sis, she said calmly. You don't have to worry. Your roommate is doing fine, wherever she is. Chioma paused. Then Ojonugwa added something that made her chest tighten. I've been here for 20 years. Chioma's mouth dropped open. 20 what? She asked. I came in like you, Ojonugwa said calmly. And I'm still here. Leviathan chooses who stays and who doesn't. Chioma's lips trembled. You've been here for 20 years, but this is a school. Ojonugwa didn't reply. Just then, the door flung open. Anita ran in, crying. Chioma, did Matron Fisayo tell you where your roommate went? Chioma nodded slowly. She said, another facility. Anita wiped her eyes. Same thing she told me. But something is wrong, Chioma. My roommate is also gone. And now they say she's busy at another faculty. Chioma sat up. Anita, I think Matron Fisayo is hiding something. What should we do? Anita whispered. But Ojonugwa didn't say a word. She lay on her bed like nothing was happening. Later that evening, Chioma was taking a quiet stroll around the school compound, trying to clear her head. That was when she saw it. A tiny road, narrow, hidden behind some plants. She followed it slowly. At the end of the path, she saw a room. The door was locked, and on it was a sign, no students allowed. Chioma froze. She stared at the door, heart pounding. How can this room be inside this place? She whispered. And they say, no students allowed. She turned and walked back to her room, her feet heavy. She didn't tell her new roommate, Ojonugwa, because now she didn't know who to trust. She remembered what Ojonugwa had said earlier. I've been here for 20 years. 20 years. Chioma shook her head. Something is not right, she whispered to herself. That night, Matron Fisayo called all students to the school hall for dinner. They ate and went back to their rooms. But Chioma couldn't sleep. She was afraid of what might happen if she closed her eyes. Her eyes stayed wide open till morning. As soon as the sun rose, she rushed to meet Anita. Anita was also complaining about how they changed her roommates too. Chioma explained to her everything, the narrow path, the strange door, and her missing roommates. Together, Chioma, Anita, and Zara began to think of how they could sneak into that hidden room. That afternoon, while Matron Fisayo was addressing the new students, Chioma sneaked into her office and stole a bunch of keys. She rushed to meet her friends at the narrow path. They knelt in front of the door, not sure if the right key was even among the bunch she had taken. They tried every key, one after the other. None worked. Just when they were about to give up, Anita said, "Let me try one more." She inserted a silver key and click. The door opened, and what they saw left them speechless. Blood everywhere. Human bodies, some with heads, some without, hearts, livers, eyes, all laid out like market meat, surgical tools, chains, tables. Like a slaughterhouse, they slammed the door shut and ran. Choma couldn't return the keys. She threw them somewhere, anywhere Matron might not find them. She ran to her room, still shaking from the shock of what they had just seen. She didn't tell Ojonugwa. She just sat on her bed, stiff, silent, like her soul had left her body. "Chioma, are you okay?" Ojonugwa asked. Chioma opened her mouth to speak, but no word. "Are you sick?" Ojonugwa asked again. Chioma shook her head. "I'm fine. I'm just tired. Thank you." But deep down, it wasn't tiredness. It was something worse. She was scared and whispered to herself, "Oh my God, is this how I'm going to perish in this school?" Then suddenly, something in her chest screamed, "Run!" She jumped to her feet, flung the door open, and ran barefoot across the corridor to Anita's room. She didn't even knock, just pushed the door open and slammed it shut behind her. Anita and Zara were already sitting on the bed, their faces pale, like people who had seen a ghost. "What did we just see?" Chioma whispered, locking the door behind her. "My sister," Anita said, hugging herself. "I can't sleep. I keep seeing heads, hearts." "What kind of school is this?" Zara muttered. "God, are we next?" They sat in silence for a while. Then Chioma said, "We have to do something. We can't just sit here." "But what can we do?" Zara asked. "Even if we try to escape, this school is inside a forest. No signal, no road." "I don't care," Chioma said. "We'll die here if we don't try." "But how?" Anita asked again. "They'll catch us." "I have an idea," Chioma whispered. "Remember that Matron's office has a phone line, a real one, not mobile, a landline." Zara frowned. "You want to call who?" "The police." Zara laughed bitterly. "And tell them what? That a free university is cutting students into pieces in a shiny meat room." Chioma stepped forward, her eyes fierce. "Do you want to die here?" No one replied. That night, they planned it. The next morning, Chioma volunteered to distract Matron Fisayo. She knocked gently on the office door and said, "My head is spinning. I think I'm sick," holding her stomach and pretending to be weak. Matron Fisayo told her to sit and left the office to call a nurse. The moment the woman left, Chioma rushed to the desk. She pulled open drawers and found it. An old-fashioned landline phone. Her hands were shaking. She dialed 911. It rang. Then a voice. "Lagos State Emergency." Chioma whispered, "Please help me. I'm at a school called Leviathan College, inside a forest. Students are going missing. We saw bodies. Please, please, if you can trace this call." The voice interrupted. "Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Location not clear. Speak louder." But Chioma couldn't. She heard footsteps returning. She dropped the phone just as she shut the drawer. Matron Fisayo walked in. Her eyes scanned Chioma carefully. What were you doing? She asked. I I was just resting, Chioma replied. The woman smiled. Good girl. But Chioma knew that smile meant danger. Go back to your room, Matron said quietly. The nurse will bring you herbs. Chioma stood and walked out slowly. Her legs were weak. She knew it, the cord didn't go through. The line had died just before she could speak clearly. She had to find another way. Later that evening, Chioma whispered to Zara and Anita at their usual corner in the cafeteria. We can't wait anymore, she said. The call failed. But yesterday I saw something behind the big tank, a small hole in the ground. I think it's a tunnel. A tunnel? Zara whispered. Yes, I don't know where it leads, but it's something. Anita looked terrified. What if we get caught? Then we die, Choma said bluntly. But if we stay here, we still die one by one. Anita bit her lip. Zara looked away. Let's try, Chioma said. Tonight, midnight. They agreed. The moon hid behind the clouds. The school was silent, except for the sound of crickets. The three girls tiptoed out of the dormitory, wearing dark clothes and carrying nothing but a flashlight and sachet water. Behind the water tank, they found a small hole. It was covered with leaves and old wood. They pulled it open. A narrow, dark tunnel gaped before them. Chioma knelt and peered inside. This must lead somewhere. Maybe the road. Suddenly, I'm not going, Anita whispered. What? Chioma turned. I'm sorry, I'm scared. What if they catch us in the tunnel? What if it's a trap? Zara nodded slowly. Anita is right. If we get caught, they'll kill us immediately. Maybe if we behave, they'll let us go after graduation. Chioma stared at them. Graduation, she whispered. You really believe we'll leave this place alive? Anita looked down. Chioma's voice shook. They are using us. The rule book, the dead students, the lab. You saw it. I'm sorry, Anita said. I can't. Zara touched Chioma's hand. Please don't go alone. But Chioma pulled away. I'd rather die trying than sit here waiting to be butchered. And with that, she climbed into the tunnel. The tunnel was cold, damp, and smelled like earth and rot. She crawled on hands and knees, her breath short, her knees scraping against sharp stones. Every sound echoed. Her heart pounded like a drum. It felt like hours. Then a breeze, light. She pushed a wooden board and rolled out of the tunnel into grass. A road. She looked around, gasping. Then headlights. A car was coming. She stood and waved both arms desperately. Please stop! Help! The black SUV slowed. A man stepped out. Then a woman followed. Both looked shocked. Who are you? The woman asked. Why are you out here? My name is Chioma, she cried. I escaped from Leviathan College. Please help me. They are killing students inside. They are hiding something terrible. The woman's eyes widened. Did you say Leviathan College? Our daughter goes there, Zara. Chioma froze. Zara? Yes, she's our daughter. The man was already turning. Get in the car. We're going to the police station. Now. At the station, the parents explained everything quickly. Chioma gave every detail, the school's location, the tunnel, the names of missing students, the rule book. The DPO stood up. This sounds like cult activity, or worse. He gave instructions immediately. A unit of 12 officers was dispatched. They would follow the tunnel and approach quietly. Back at Leviathan College, Matron Fisayo paced the hallway with her flashlight. Something didn't feel right. She stormed into Chioma's room. Empty. She slammed the door and rushed outside to check the grounds. Then she noticed it, the open tunnel entrance behind the tank. Her face darkened. She has escaped, she muttered. She turned sharply and ran to the dorms. Inside, Zara and Anita were still awake, whispering in fear. Matron barged in. You helped her, she said coldly. No way, Zara started. Before she could finish, Matron raised her hand, and two large men in black dragged them from the room. They screamed. The forbidden room. Zara and Anita were thrown inside the butcher room, the same horrifying place they had discovered earlier. Blood still stained the floor. Metal tables, chains, tools. Matron Fisayo entered slowly, her heels clicking on the tiles. You too betrayed Leviathan, she said. Anita fell to her knees, begging, please, we didn't do anything, please. Matron leaned close, her face dark. Chioma is gone, but you're still here. She picked up a scalpel. Don't worry, your sacrifice will still count. Just then, boom, a loud crash. Police, drop your weapon. The door burst open. Bright torchlights flooded the room. Uniformed officers stormed in, guns raised. On the ground, now, Matron turned, but it was too late. One of the officers shot her in the leg. She screamed and collapsed. Zara and Anita cried, shaking, as two female officers untied them. It's okay, one of the officers said softly. You're safe now. Outside, Chioma arrived in another van with the parents. When she saw Zara and Anita wrapped in blankets, she ran to them and hugged them tightly. I told you, she whispered, crying. We had to escape. Next morning, Leviathan College was sealed off. Drones flew over the forest. Reporters swarmed. The news broke across the nation. Secret organ trade busted in elite Nigerian school. Hundreds of students rescued. Fake school exposed. Victims speak out. Matron Fisayo, along with 5 staff members, was arrested and taken into custody. After weeks of trial, the judge gave the verdict. For crimes against humanity, mass murder, and illegal organ trade, you are hereby sentenced to life imprisonment. Matron stood in silence, her face cold, but her eyes showed fear for the first time. The courtroom erupted in gasps. Justice had finally been served. Back home, Chioma sat on the veranda with her mother. She wasn't the same girl who had left with a nylon bag. She had faced death and lived. And now, she knew money wasn't everything. Some dreams are not worth dying for. She looked at the sky and whispered to herself, I will still go to school, but this time, it will be real.